Hey guys, how are we doing? So we're back with another Annie News video, and you guys seem to want me to continue doing these Fate lore videos that he has done, so gonna do that. And I'm gonna do them, as I did mention in comments section to people in the last one, I'm gonna do them in order that he released them. So don't worry, I'm gonna cover them all. I just want to go through them all as he's, uploaded them to his channel. So this is going to be how Archer became who he is. Now, some of this was mentioned in the Anime Unlimited Blade Works, and it's been a while since I watched it, so if I come across as like first time hearing stuff that's already been put on, it's been a while since I've watched Unlimited Blade Works, so please don't be too mean. So let's get into this, how Archer became who he is.
I really wanted to start this episode with some spectacular opening line because, it's Shiro Emiya, Fate's poster boy himself. He's in pretty much every variation and timeline of the Fate series, and even when he's not, he still kind of is.
Right.
But for some reason, I just couldn't think of anything fitting enough to introduce this absolute legend. Just to be clear, though, I'm not talking about this Shiro. I'm talking about this Shiro.
Yay,
the faker of Archer, the wrought iron hero, the protector of balance, but most importantly, a hero of justice.
Ooh.
Or is he?
So cool. Wow.
I'm sure all of you are already very familiar with pre-heroic spirit Shiro. I mean, he's the main character of the most popular Fate anime, so it's only natural that you're aware of who he is. But you probably have so many questions regarding how he was even able to be summoned as a servant in the Fifth Holy Grail War. Like, what made him become a heroic spirit in the first place? How did he die? Why does he want to kill his past self? So on and so forth. So let's place ourselves at the end of the Fifth Holy Grail War, where Shiro and Saber have just destroyed the Holy Grail after winning the war together. They part ways shortly after because Shiro was unable to help Saber fulfill her true wish. So Shiro goes to London with Rin instead to study magecraft. It's there he becomes obsessed with the idea of being a hero of justice. Not like he wasn't already infatuated with the idea before.
Yeah.
But in order to realize his true potential, he starts to work as a magus for hire. But no matter what training and experience he got, his abilities just were never at the point where he wanted them to be. Nevertheless, he persisted, even if it did mean fighting against corrupted entities similar to Angolamandi, who were far stronger than him. He would simply retreat and try again. A little later down the road, Shiro is faced with a crisis where 100 lives hang in the balance. Realizing that his current self would be unable to save them, the world, or more specifically Alaya, appears before Shiro, offering him absolute power in exchange for his service as a counter-guardian after death. But what even is Alaya, or this so-called counter-guardian? Well, Alaya refers to the collective will of mankind to survive.
Right.
It's one of two components of the world, along with Gaia, which refers to the planet's will to survive. Don't get the two confused, though. Alaya only drives on the existence of humanity, whereas Gaia will not hesitate to just kill all of mankind if the planet as a whole is at risk.
Right.
So these two supernatural entities that exist outside of space and time work together to make up what's called the counterforce. And the counterforce is basically an instinctual reaction that prevents the destruction of the world by summoning super OP creatures or counter-guardians to restore balance. How they restore balance, though, we'll get into that shortly. Now back to Shiro. Being presented with the ability to save everyone, he doesn't hesitate to enter this contract with Alaya. As far as Shiro was concerned, not only would he be able to save those 100 people, he would also be able to continue saving people after death as a counter-guardian. Or so he thought anyway. Now with his newly gifted powers to essentially create miracles, he is able to save countless lives, and through that achieves enough fame to enter into the throne of heroes and be classified as a heroic spirit. Shiro's final act as a human was bringing an end to a great war, but somewhere along the way he was betrayed, and he became branded as the root cause of it. As such, humanity, being the forgiving creatures that they are, turned their back on him and sentenced him to death. It is in death that Shiro's new existence as a counter-guardian begins. All pumped up and ready to start saving people again, Shiro quickly realizes that it's not at all what he was expecting it to be like. Although he did end up using his godlike powers to save humanity time and time again, the method in which he did it was the complete opposite of everything he stood for. You see, when Alaya realizes that humanity is entering a rabbit hole of destruction, it will send a single agent to eliminate the threat. And when I say eliminate, I don't mean simply take out all those deemed guilty by the world. I mean kill everything and everyone that's remotely close to the area that he was sent to. It's pretty much the world just saying, fuck it, let's start over and just
rinse and repeat.
And that's exactly what Shiro did. He would save humanity from its own demise by killing again and again and again. And as I said, this wasn't just killing a guilty few. The casualty count probably numbered in the millions each time. That's only a wild guess, but considering that it's assumed the sinking of Atlantis was caused by Emiya, then a couple million
Oh,
might
right.
even be on the low side. So Shiro spends eons as Emiya's agent, manifesting back on Earth at different points in time to repeatedly witness and enact the very opposite of what he stood for. Eventually, he just came to realize that his ideal was a lie, and that Kiritsugu was right. It's impossible to save everyone. It's easier to just maintain a balance and save the majority at the cost of a few.
Damn.
It just so happened that in Shiro's case, the few were scaled to a much larger number. But when compared to humanity as a whole,
It's
it was still a
small,
small
yeah.
price to pay. Eventually, Shiro became fed up with his existence as a counter-guardian. He essentially spent all eternity faced with the fact that no matter what he did, he wouldn't ever be able to save everyone, and this became a truly painful existence for him. As such, he devised a plan to free himself from his role as Elias' agent of death. He saw an opening as a heroic spirit to be summoned as a servant during the Fifth Holy Grail War. That way, if he was able to kill his past self before ever being able to form a contract with Elia, it would create a big enough time paradox that it would erase his existence as a counter-guardian.
Makes sense.
So, as you already know, he finally got his chance and was summoned as an archer in the Fifth Holy Grail
For
War.
Rin.
And that puts us right back to the beginning of where we started. From what I understand, though, the timeline where Shiro becomes a counter-guardian and the timeline where Heroic Spirit Shiro is summoned are two completely different universes. They're alternate timelines representing two different potential futures for Shiro. That way, it doesn't end up becoming an infinite loop of Shiro always becoming
Yeah.
a counter-guardian, then regretting it, and returning back to the Fifth Holy Grail War to prevent it from happening. Which makes me wonder then, who was Rin's servant in the timeline where Shiro does become the counter-guardian? Because I don't think it would be Heroic Spirit Shiro, otherwise they'd already be in an infinite loop.
Yeah.
If you're more familiar with how the timelines are split, then let me know in the comments below. I'd love to
Interesting.
know more about Shiro's
That's an
timeline
interesting
before
thought, yeah.
he was summoned in the Fifth Holy Grail War. But yeah, that's the legend of Heroic Spirit and counter-guardian Shiro Emiya. In life, he was betrayed time and time again by those he had trusted. He only had his strong belief and ideals to go by. But the world had other plans for him, and in the end, even those ended up betraying him, resulting in his eternal desire to find a way to cease existence. It's really quite the tragedy when you think about it, but I guess that's what fate's known for. A few other important bits of information regarding Shiro during his time as a servant are the circumstances of his summoning and the lack of memories he has from his time as a human. He's able to be summoned because throughout eternity he had kept the jewel that Rin used to save his life. And this jewel just so happened to also be the catalyst that was used by Rin at the time of the summoning. Once summoned, though, he claims that the only memory he recalls from his time alive was the summoning of Saber and the day that he was saved by Kiritsugu. Although he seems to also remember Rin after seeing her face, but that's pretty much it. If you're also wondering why Shiro's complexion seems to have changed over time, there's actually a reason for it. Apparently, years and years of projection magic, along with literally using his body as materials to produce these projections, are what caused his skin to darken and his eyes and hair to whiten.
Right, makes
Turns
sense.
out that the
Okay.
whole "I am the bone of my sword" thing, it has some
I'm
literal
the
meaning.
bone of my sword.
As for his alter appearance, I have no idea. Don't ask me. So that's pretty much all the essential information you need to understand the counter-guardian turned heroic spirit, Shiro Emiya. Is he still a hero for justice? I guess that depends on what your definition of justice
It's your
is.
perspective, isn't
Now,
it?
this is normally where I'd segue into his abilities and noble phantasms. But I didn't quite realize how complex his Unlimited Bladeworks reality marble was, so I'll make that into its own separate
That's
video
gonna be
that
cool.
I
We'll do
promise
that
will
next,
come out much
I think.
sooner than you think. I apologize for the recent influx of My Hero Academia content, but I assure you, a lot more explained videos are on the way, both for Fate and for Overlord. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this type of anime content, then you already know what to do. So until next time,
Ciao.
ciao.
Cool. That's an interesting point that he brought up, though, that if they are parallel timelines, then Rin must have had a different, well, not necessarily, but she might have had a different guardian. Like, different summoning. I mean, what's that about? Blows my mind, man. Crazy. Crazy. I mean, some of that was already mentioned, but it was interesting, the two entities and how they work, and the counter guardian thingamajigger, and yeah, I like it. I thought Archer was a very interesting character, and the reveal and that, like, especially, like, kind of telling when he starts bringing out the swords and they're fighting similar, and it's like, what's going on here? You can kind of tell, but yeah. Again, I haven't watched Unlimited Bladeworks for a while, so I do apologise if I'm being all like, oh my god, to information that was already like given out. But yeah, that was a very interesting video. I like Annie News. I like how informative it is, and it's great. So yeah, we'll do the abilities one for Archer next. I think that'd be good. That'd be cool. So yeah, awesome. Thank you guys very much for watching. What did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys. It's all you guys next time.